Hello, I'm Derrick Thomas, and welcome to LUTV Sports Break, where we will discuss interesting topics with our panel of sports reporters. It's gotta be the shoes. Actually, it is the shoes, the man, the championships, the dream team, and much more that made episodes 5 and 6 of The Last Dance must-see TV. We also learned the downside of being Mike and the other side of Air Jordan that deflated his image in the eyes of some fans and critics. Panel, what are your thoughts on the latest installment of The Last
I
Dance?
feel like the shoes were such a big deal. Like people who love sports and especially basketball, like when they turn 23, it's their Jordan year, and like everybody had to have Air Jordans no matter what they were. So I think that was a really like big deal. Also, I like that he put on the shoes, and even though at halftime his feet were like completely like blistered, bleeding, he had to keep wearing them because he was never going to get to wear them again.
Yes, I agree about the shoes. Me being a sneakerhead, man, if I show y'all my closet right now, I pretty much got everything that you could think of right now. And me being an Air Jordan 1 fan, that excited me. I was watching it with my girlfriend and I was like, man, look at the ones. Like, man, just look at them. It just, excited me. And I love those kind of shoes. And those shoes are actually bad to play basketball in because I have a few. And the ones that kind of got old, I played in, and my feet are not good from after that. So it was exciting. I'm glad he kind of integrated that in there and how he did it with Nike and how he got there. He wanted to do Adidas, which was surprising to me. I didn't know that. And his mom telling him to get on the plane and give them a shot. He changed. I feel like he changed Nike and when we look at it today.
It almost makes you wonder if he went with Adidas, was a three-stripe man, how different would the landscape of the world would, be at? How would it look now? But a track, aside from shoes, like how do you guys think he dealt with the pressure? We saw there he didn't have a chance to breathe, even when he was inside of his hotel room. I mean, how would he put up with all that?
I think as athletes and as superstars and celebrities and things like that, it's so hard for them to take time for themselves, especially when they do something not out of the ordinary, but you know how Michael went to the casino, he was gambling, things like that, which normal people do that all the time and never get flack or anything for it. But when you're a celebrity, you don't get that kind of justice and experience to do that as well as everybody else does because so many eyes are on you. But I mean, like he said, he was like, yeah, I went with my family, but I was back in time for practice for the game, there to do his job. I think he can do whatever he wants.
I don't know how that feeling feels, but even at the beginning of the documentary, it seemed like every time he stepped aside to do something, it was like a million people were waiting on him. People were everywhere watching him. And I just say that would be kind of annoying, rather. You have to like mentally prepare yourself for that. The man was saying that he only got like 10 minutes to just relax and calm down after the game before the media poured in. And it seemed like that all eyes were on him, but it just was taking a toll kind of. And the pressure coming in about this different kind of things he was doing, the gambling, how the way the team, he would talk to his teammates, and the book that guy had wrote that got the Jordan rules and got out, and that he didn't know who did it. Was it Horace Grant? He didn't know. It just came with a lot of stuff, and I just think it's a part of being that kind of big of a guy that some people want to kind of get some dirt on you, make you look like a bad person instead of all the good. And the interview he did with the shades on was kind of funny to say the least.
And pretty much speaking about, being just a bad person, with all that status comes with a lot of responsibility. How do you guys feel he handled the political issue of not supporting Gant and making the comments Republicans buy sneakers too, when at the time Gant was going against, I believe his name was Jesse. It was Jesse something. Jesse.
I mean, we're in a time right now where people like LeBron James speak out on everything, which you're totally allowed to do that. Use your platform to promote what you think is right. But I also feel like as athletes, if you don't have the knowledge to speak about something, especially political, you don't have to talk about it. Like, if you just want to sit there and play your game, that's fine. I don't want you to speak on something you're not really that knowledgeable in.
Going back to you, I feel like LeBron James, when it comes to the politics or just social injustices and all that, LeBron does a great job at speaking out. He's a very knowledgeable person and trying to do for the community and this and that. But on the other hand, Michael Jordan was the complete opposite. And I've seen a lot of people kind of bashing him on social media about that, like, why isn't Michael the guy to kind of step up, especially the guy he was back then, with so much coming up off of the 60s and 70s and so on. And him not saying anything, but he was kind of saying, like, he didn't want to talk about that kind of stuff, really. He just wanted to play the game, and which I could totally respect that as well. But in the same time, I believe you use your platform to, speak on certain things. And if he wasn't for the guy who was running there, I just don't think he was with him. Like, maybe it was something that he didn't like about him or whatever, and that he really just wasn't a politics guy or whatever was the case. And I don't really hold that against him, but at the same time, I kind of do, because he could have used his platform as well as how LeBron uses his platform today.
He did mention that his mom wanted him to do a PSA for Gant, but I believe he said, of course, he wasn't going to speak out on someone that he knew, but he did send him an endorsement. And also with that, do you believe it's like the status quo has changed? Was that just the Jordan thing? Or now we expect our athletes to more of these, use their platform, be outspoken role models for children or just people in general?
I think it really depends on who you are. I think it's perfectly fine if athletes want to use their platform to promote what they think is good and what they think the world should do and things like that. However, I will say a lot of people, like, especially with the LeBron thing, people were like, you need to just shut up and dribble. This is not your job. You just worry about basketball and things like that. But people have to remember, like, these superstars are people too. Like, they're allowed to have their opinion on things. They're allowed to say what they want, how they feel. And you're not always going to agree with it. Sometimes you're going to really dislike what people say. But those people are allowed to have those opinions. And I think it's a good idea for these superstars to speak their mind about what they believe. I think it kind of gives a little bit of normalcy to them.
I totally agree with you. Those guys should have their own opinions. I wouldn't say I necessarily expect much of them, but if they want to talk out, that's totally their right. LeBron definitely, again, does a great job with it. And another person who isn't a player that talks out on these certain things, but he does a great job of really saying the norm of what's really going on, and that's Greg Popovich. God's going to give it to you all. Greg Popovich always, pretty much since I've been young, always going to give it to me. He going to tell the truth. He said it like, hey, you think like what white people go through, they don't go through anything, like just look at it. Like, he's an honest guy. Greg Popovich consistently talks out on those certain things, and he does a great job as well.
Y'all know I'm a Greg Popovich fan, and I think that's one of the biggest things I love about the Spurs is they're not afraid to talk about their platforms and what they believe in. I think it is a really huge deal, especially for the NBA.
On a final note, how do you guys feel about the reversal? We saw Jordan going from being that kid to break into the NBA and get to that status of winning championships. But didn't we saw him as like the heart crusher? I mean, he stopped Barkley from winning the ring. He stopped Malone and Stockton from winning the ring. And then look what he did to Patrick Ewing and the Knicks, who kind of felt like they were in the same role as Jordan trying to break through, and they just couldn't do it. How do you guys feel about that switch?
The dream killer. Well, at least that's what my uncles called it. I mean, back then, it's a lot of legends from the 90s that guys now who were playing, such as Draymond, kind of bad Barkley for not getting championships. And it's like nobody was winning then. It was just Jordan. And the 2 years Jordan was gone, or when he came back, it was Hakeem. So, I mean, Jordan just was killing like you say, heartbreaker. He was killing everybody's dream. And another person that makes me mad and gets on Barkley too is Shaquille O'Neal when he tries to say, oh, you don't have any rings. Well, you didn't get any rings when Jordan were playing either.
I think a lot of people have to remember Michael Jordan's biggest thing was he had to be the best. No matter what he did, he was going to fight to be the best. If that meant like he had to add 15 pounds in order to beat the Pistons, just things like that. He did whatever it took to win. And especially coming back from, he was 0-2 in the series and then went on to win 4 straight games. I mean, no one was going to beat that man once he set a goal in mind.
Another thing, when he went against Clyde the God against the Portland, and he was like, they compared me to him. He's like, I wasn't saying he wasn't a threat, but I took offense to that. And he went out and tried to do everything possible to make sure they never said anything about him being compared to him. Make sure that, hey, I'm Michael Jordan. Nobody else is nowhere near me. And he even told Magic, was like, hey, you know what I'm about to do. And went out and was going at Clyde. Like, I don't even think you really necessarily see that anymore, where somebody could go just say, oh, they comparing me to him? I'm going to go at him. And Mike was just going at him. I feel sorry for Clyde, man.
Well, that's like the guy from Croatia who Jerry Krause just happened to say he liked. And Mike was like, I'm not about that. No, I'm going to make sure this guy looks terrible. So you can't say another word about him. I thought that was insane. Like whatever he needed to do to get his point across, he was going to do.
Yes.
And well, thank you, panel. Thank you for watching LUTV Sports, where we keep you in the game for every game. To see more content from LUTV News, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.